I love to travel the country. It's been a great season for us. We've been all over, we've hunted some great ranches. And sometimes you forget to look right in your backyard. There's a realtor in town, Tom Brooks, and I've always heard the reputation of the big deer he's got on his ranch. And it was nice to come to Stephenville. Stephenville is the cowboy capital of the world, but I just call it home. It's great to be home. I'm sleeping in my own bed, and I'm hunting a trophy buck at the Brooks Ranch.
Throwing on my jeans cause it's the morning of the day, and I need to be working and there's nothing left to say. Well, if I don't bring the bread, then I guess it's shame on me. Well, I need to bring it home, and that's the way it's got to be, cause I'm a hard-working man, a hard-working man indeed.
You know, this is another exciting deal for Blue Collar Adventures. Not only am I going to get to hunt, then I'm going to get to go with Baylor Brooks. And Baylor's kind of a legend. For a 13-year-old kid, he's done a lot. He's got the record for being the youngest kid that they can find in Texas to harvest a buck with his bow. Baylor, also at 13, has become a master shooter. So I headed out to try out the new Bowser shotguns and get a few pointers from the pro. So how long you been shooting for Bowser?
I'm shooting for Bowser 4 months now, maybe.
4 months? What made you like him so much?
It's just a sweet gun. It's got good recoil. I mean, it swings smooth. It's not something that bothers me.
Yeah.
Something I feel really confident about.
You think you can outshoot me today?
Probably.
Probably so, probably so. Let's shoot some, let's see. 2 for 2. This man makes it tough. Every time. Tell me how long you've been shooting shotguns.
This is the start of my 5th year.
Your 5th year. Wow. What got you interested? Your dad?
Dove hunting, basically. He took me out. I mean, I just got out. He stuck me on a stump next to a tree and said, every time a bird flies by, just shoot at it, no matter what. Just let them go.
What's your goal? What do you want to do?
I'm trying to either get into the Olympics when I'm 16 or be a world champion sporting clay shooter.
Very cool. You still gonna hang out with me if you get to be a world champ? I've got a situation. I saw the tree we're gonna climb in, and Matt, he's a Georgia boy. He's been climbing trees his whole life. He's a bow hunter. He's kind of my go-to guy. I hate to admit it, but he knows a lot more about bow hunting than I do, so I like to kind of have him in my corner. His camera skills are so-so, but his tree climbing should be excellent.
So we get there that morning, and pitch black dark. I've never seen this ranch, and meeting everybody, meet Tom Brooks, really nice guy, and I'm sitting there and he starts telling me how to climb this tree. And I've been climbing trees since I was 8 years old. I really didn't listen to him very much, kind of thought, well, I know how to climb a tree.
Matt is the tree climber. I'm raised in Nevada. We got sagebrush. Matt's a Georgia boy. He's been climbing trees. I want to watch how he does it, and he starts up.
And look up, and it's just a tree. I mean, it's up there pretty high, but back home we just shimmy on up the tree. Shimmy is when you just get on up the tree however you can.
The gap is not as wide as you are when you go through it. We'll hang you up, and then we go to the next chapter, which is dangle.
I'm stuck, I can't do anything. In my desperate attempt to find another peg, my foot slips, and now I'm dangling. Dangling is not a good situation when it's pitch black dark, and I'm holding about $10,000 worth of camera gear, and I'm starting to panic, but I don't want to let them know.
I'm tickled now. I'm starting to see Matt's facial expression. It's getting that light. I can tell not only is he in a bind, he's not real happy he's in that bind.
Finally get all my camera stuff ready, I'm ready to go. I look over at Jay and just see him shaking. He's still laughing for me dangling in the tree. Here comes deer. Jay can't stop laughing. I don't think he's gonna be able to make any kind of a shot because he's just sitting there busting out laughing at me for dangling in that tree.
Oh, I'm wore out. I thought you'd been working out. Not enough.
I'm so nervous because there's some big mature bucks below me, and I'm watching them. I'm watching Matt, and this big buck, he's got kickers and stickers, comes out, and you know, I get locked in. I've got a perfect shot. I get 3/4 drawn, and I hear a deer blow. There's a little spike that'd been watching the whole thing unfold right behind us. He busts us, hunt's over. But you know, I still had a pretty good morning. I got to see the shimmy and dangle. Tom had got behind the brush on the other side of us, and he was rattling. These bucks were coming. And so when these deer busted out of there, there's another big buck on his way we didn't even know about. I thought the hunt was over, but you know, through rattling and stuff like that, Tom's had a lot of experience with these big deer. Here comes another monster, and he's actually bigger than the one I just saw. This big buck comes out, he's beelining, he's right underneath us. He's right underneath my tree stand, to the point where I've got to lean out. I've got to bend my whole top of my body. My torso's got to stay level with my bow. And I start leaning to get this shot, and I'm leaning and I'm leaning. There's no way I'd have tried this without being clipped in with my hunter safety vest. But I get to the point where I feel like I'm about to fall out, and I've got a pin on him. I squeeze my release. And it's a perfect shot. You know, again, my new bow or my shooting ability, I'm not real sure, has come through. I have practiced really hard, but I honestly feel this new bow I got, this carbon element, has given me the confidence to make that shot. And I tell you another thing, having that vest on to support me if I did fall out of that seat was a necessity.
That is a huge bug, man. Huge bug. It might be the biggest buck I've ever seen in my life. We're out here at Tom Brooks. He's a local guy in Stevensville. He's been in the whitetail deal for years. He used to have the deer channel. He said, come out and film my son and you come shoot a big buck. And I believe I just shot a big buck. That might be the buck of my season right there. Oh, thank you, Tom Brooks. What an awesome experience this morning. I didn't know what to think. I'd never seen deer that big. Were you excited for me? Oh, so excited. He jumped the fence right there and I about dropped the camera. And he made a big circle around, and I actually had to stand up to get over Jay because the deer was 10 yards right there.
That's awesome, Tom. I can't thank you enough. You got some awesome bucks. I was having trouble making a decision. And then we go, oh, look at that one. Oh, And that date was a beautiful buck too. He was kind of dominating those other
He was
ones.
a pretty buck.
Yeah.
There was a 9 that was working in just as we were coming out of the stand,
Yeah.
and I thought, he's the prettiest buck. May not be the biggest antlers, but
Yeah.
beautiful white neck on him and shoulders. And,
God.
he's just a huge body. He's going to be a monster of brute next year.
There was 3 monsters out there and 3 that were just awesome deer. There wasn't a bad buck out there.
Well, there's never a bad buck.
There wasn't a
There's
bad
never
buck
a
out
bad
there.
buck. There's better bucks, but never a bad buck.
That's what you really want to see right there. Look at that, man. Big blood. Just solid. Mass on that thing. I mean, you've got just an unbelievable opportunity out here for guys.
Well, it's close into the Metroplex. We're about an hour and a half out of Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. We've got some fishing holes back here and some deer and enough to pass the time while we're waiting on. Matter of fact, we'll go try that. We've got to wait on RD, your buddy.
Yeah.
So while he's shooting out, we'll get the fishing poles and run back to the back
Sounds
and
like a pretty
catch
good
some
plan.
dinner for the night.
That sounds pretty good. I think I got some backstrap right here.
Say he's a whole 2 ounces.
That's a braided line tree there. Dad's gonna be mad. That was his favorite tree. Good fish, isn't it? Not bad.
Yeah, they're hitting right in these trees. No!
There's a monster. He broke our cycle. Ooh, that's one we probably want to put in the live well and flay out, huh? Make a
Oh,
little
yeah.
room for the big boys.
There's one right. Yeah, there he
How
is.
big he is.
My dad had told me, he told me that we would be working on a TV show with Jay Presti. My dad told me he'd be a good guy to talk with. He'd be pretty cool. So he came out to our ranch.
Baylor and I, we go after this buck. His dad wants him to do some ranch management. We got a mature 7-point that needs to go. I saw him on my hunt, and he's a big bruiser. He's just a big 7. And so we're out there and we're trying to harvest this 7, and I tell you what, it worked against us every time. We'd get in the tree, we'd rattle, he'd show up. There's a fence line that runs right underneath the tree. And he'd show up to that fence line, a doe would run by, and he was gone. So a couple sessions like this guy's got our number. It was the perfect morning again. Everything was calm, everything was chasing. You know, this is the morning we're gonna have a chance to kill this buck. Well, I start rattling, and these bucks are coming out of everywhere. We've got 6 mature bucks circling us, circling our tree, trying to find the deer fight, trying to find the doe and heat, and it's getting pretty exciting for me. Even Baylor's getting a little bit revved up. It's one of those mornings that it's just cool to watch these deer in their environment do what they do, and all of a sudden, here comes Mr. 7. We jumps the fence. He's coming to where he can get in bow range. He's gonna get in that perfect spot to make a clean harvest. And a doe runs by, and that sucker takes off after her again. There it is, third time. He's 3, we're 0. Get my horns out, start rattling, got my grunt tube, start grunting. You know, it's on. I'm either gonna run everything off or we're gonna get him back. And here he starts to come back. He's coming on his way back. We see him off in the brush. About that time, fumbling out of my hands, I drop my grunt tube and it goes all the way to the bottom of the ladder. Makes a ruckus in the leaves, and I don't know what it did, but that 7-point had to see what that was, and here he comes. It's just technique. The boy shoots, I've seen him shoot, he gets up on the roof, he practices angles, and he sends an arrow, perfect pass through. I know all we have to do now is follow the blood trail. We're gonna have that buck down.
How hard have we been trying to get that little stinky 7? Yes, sir. Good shot, man. That deer's down right over there, brother. Yes. Oh, I'm so happy for you, man.
Never seen an arrow go through so clean like that.
That was an awesome shot, man. Awesome shot.
Thanks.
That was perfect.
That's good.
You kind of remind me of me, kind of.
That's what did it when I dropped that grunt. He thought there was a buck underneath my stand. He shouldn't be very far. Yes, sir.
Pretty close call, that's 50 yards.
Phew.
It was over 200.
Don't jump on him yet.
Wow.
Awesome, man. This deer, tell us about that deer right there. You and I have been trying to get him because he's a good deer to manage out of the herd. And he's got us how many times now?
Got us about 4.
4 times. You think we're ever gonna get this old deer? He's come in like 2 or 3 times right under us where we can't shoot. Spun, chasing does, or crazy rut right now. It's been pretty fun though.
Yes, sir.
You been having a good time?
Yes, sir.
I know. I mean, this is one that you guys been wanting to get. Sometimes when we're hunting one buck, it gets pretty tough.
Yes, sir.
So you did a great job, man. You're way more calm than I was.
Thank you.
Except when you dropped my grunt, but that's all right. We won't tell them about that. So, well, it's been an awesome time. You know, I shot that big buck out here and I had so much fun. I couldn't wait to get out here and hunt with you. I've heard all about you. Now I've seen the legend, so you got one down. Congratulations, man. Good job. One thing I'd like to say about Baylor is a kid with all the things and accomplishments at that age, sometimes it's hard for that age to handle that situation. They're hard to be around, to say it bluntly. But Baylor was like going out hunting with an old friend. He was fun to be around. He was so mature in the tree. In fact, when it came to deer coming under the stand, he was a lot more calm than I was. So it was really enjoyable. You could tell he'd been brought up the right way, and you know, it's refreshing to see a kid in his teens, where not all of us were that great when we were in our teens, to have the manners that Baylor did. Why don't we catch any fish yet? I'm reeling, casting.
He was rattling. He was grunting. We saw the buck out in the field. Right when he was starting to finish to put all the stuff up in his bag, he dropped the grunt, and that made some noise. And
that was an accident. It gets you bad. Man, we're just fishing. That was a fish I threw right into the cameraman.
Take 3. Let me get this off the camera real quick. That was a big fish. I wouldn't have jerked into your neck that hard. My bad. Go ahead.